Sri Lanka as a state has given some commitments to the United Nations Human Rights Council in 2015. Should you get elected to office, what will be your stand and how do you want to proceed with that commitment?
We will always work with the United Nations, but I can't recognize what they have signed with the different government. It's not with my government. I don't think, in my personal view, that is not a legal document, but always we will work with the United Nations Human Rights Organization as well to solve any issues they have. That's my...
So don't you recognize it as a agreement made as a state, Sri Lanka as a state?
No, we have already rejected that. As a party, we have rejected that agreement, and in public we have rejected that, and so that it is not a document where we have signed, and you all know that on this issue, our policies and the present government policies are far apart.
I have one more question, sir. Regarding the statement that you made in your inaugural election rally about that you said you used the term acquitting soldiers. As soon as you get elected, the following morning, the soldiers who are incarcerated, they'll be acquitted. Could you expand on that, please?
You already know how these soldiers were punished. Not only the soldiers, even the others. They were politically victimized. You know the procedure. Two very senior officials from the Attorney General Department had confirmed that the procedure that they have adopted, and it was that procedure was never adopted in Sri Lanka, where in a political party headquarters, or it was mentioned that with the political party leaders, the decisions were made at temple trees. So it cannot be a procedure which has adopted justifiably. So therefore, what I have mentioned is that is not correct. It is politically motivated. Therefore, that we will release them from the remand. And at the moment, all the majority, or I think 100% of these soldiers were not convicted in a court of law. These are remanded by producing B reports, and especially these are majority of them are now under investigation from various institutions.
When you said you will acquit these people, do you have any numbers? How many are actually in custody? Because we understand there are some people who have been released. So that's one. And on the question of 35(1) of the Human Rights Council, how do you propose to proceed if you are going to abrogate what has already been signed? How are you going to proceed on this question of accountability for the alleged war crimes, or on that question of accountability? How will you proceed on that?
We have already done, even during our government, we had proposed a system and we have continued on that process. And when this government came into power, they completely neglected that process and went through a new process. So that we will continue the process that we have started under the Mahinda Rajapaksa government. That we went far ahead of what this government had done. We did a lot of things during our period, and we will continue that process.
Specifically on accountability, what is it that you had started before?
For accountability, if you know that we have appointed under the Census Department, we did a survey on that, and we have found out the number of people missing by way of whether they were LTT terrorist or any other person. We have found the correct numbers, but we produced a document on that. Unfortunately, the people who are responsible for investigating foreign investigators without even coming, without even listening to us. They produce their own reports, their own numbers. So that these are, there are a lot of ambiguous documents in these things that we will follow because we are an independent country. We have our institutions where we can follow without foreign, appointed people coming, without even coming, producing documents.
I might add just one comment on that. The present government itself has stated categorically that some of the commitments given to the Human Rights Council are contrary to Sri Lanka's constitution. That has been the official position of the present government of Sri Lanka. They have said that some of the commitments cannot be implemented because they are directly contrary to the constitution of our country. Now, no government, either the present government or a future government, can take actions which are in direct conflict with the highest law of the land. We are all bound by it, and the incoming government of Rajapaksa will also be bound by the constitution. It's simply something that cannot be done.
And very important that the people of the northern and eastern they have more important issues. They need jobs, they need to develop their areas, they need education. These are the important things. We can't hang on all those old things and carry on. We have to move forward. We have to forget about these hanging on to the old allegations and all that. We have, lot of things that we can do to the betterment of the people of that area.
What happened to the people that surrendered to the army?
Surrendered to the army, 13,784, I think exactly, and they were rehabilitated and reintegrated with the society. And not only that, they were given employment in civil defense force, and some were recruited into the military. And I think we had the most successful rehabilitation program. There is nowhere that in the world that any country had done such a good, well planned rehabilitation program. I know that there are even the foreign observers who came to monitor the rehabilitation program commended our program, so that all of them were rehabilitated, and we never kept them in custody. We according to their involvement in the terrorist movement, depending on the period, some were given 6-month rehabilitation, some were given 1 year, some were given maximum 2 years rehabilitation program, and I think it was a very successful program.
Does that mean that there are no disappeared persons? Does that mean that there are no missing persons? That is said in...
Missing person and people who surrendered to the military are two different places.
Okay.
So there are even in the military, do you know that there are about 4,000, more than 4,000 officers and soldiers missing in the military? Because when you go to war, when they're in the battlefield, when there are certain instances where we couldn't recover our own bodies. I have seen myself when I went to Jaffna Fort, when in front of my eyes, there were bodies we couldn't recover because the intensity was, fighting was so high. So there are people, when they go to the war, there are people missing. Because why they name missing? Because the parents or their relations couldn't get the body out. They didn't receive a body. Similarly, in the military, there are a number of soldiers and officers who are missing. So that you can't, that is, that during the war, conflict period, that can happen.
A question to...
But
sorry.
what you asked was what happened to the people who surrendered. To people who surrendered, we rehabilitated and released them.
But sorry to follow up on that, but some families in the north say that the ones that surrendered are not part of the 13,000 odd people who were rehabilitated and that they haven't come back. So are they lying?
No, somebody can say that. That's only allegation. So we have inquired on this. We had a commission on this. But nobody said that such and such a person was handed over on such and such a day to such and such a person. So there are no cases like
But
that.
to even the Paranagama Commission in your time, they did give the name and the date of surrendering, isn't it?
No,
Yes, sir.
I don't think so.
The Paranagama Commission.
You said you had various mechanisms to deal with the missing people, and you had this census and statistics which came up with a number. So what exactly was the process that you had in mind to carry forward?
You are talking all the time on the past now. Ask the future. I am trying to become the president of the future Sri Lanka. So if you concentrate on the future, I think it is better.
But can you move on? Can you move on without addressing the past?
Yeah, sure, we can move on.
අපේක්ෂකතුමනි මම කැමති යහන්න දැන් මේ වන විට විශාලම ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙලා තිබෙනවා ආර් සම්බන්ධ මහත්තයා කතා කරනවා අපිත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡාව නැති වුණොත් ලොකු මුහුණ දෙන්න වෙයි ලොකු ප්‍රශ්න වලට කියලා. දැන් ඔබ පාර්ශවයක් තීරණයක් අරන් තිබෙනවද TN එකත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡාවක් කරන්න?
සියලු පක්ෂත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කිරීම අපේ බලාපොරොත්තුව. අපිත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කරන්න එනවා නම්.
මේ වනතුරු ඔහු ඉල්ලීමක් කළා නැද්ද? ඔබතුමා ආරාධනාවක් කළා නැද්ද? මොකක්ද තත්ත්වය?
දෙකම වෙලා නැහැ.
පැවත් වෙයිද එක?
වෙයි මම. ඉඩ තියෙනවා.
ඔබතුමා ජනාධිපතිවරයා ලෙස පත්තු හොත් ඉදිරියේදී එන ප්‍රබල ගැටලුවක් තමයි ණය ආපසු ගෙවීම. මොකද ඊළඟ වසර කිහිපය තමයි ණය වැඩිපුරම ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට ගෙවන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඔබතුමා මේ ණය ගෙවීම සම්බන්ධ ඔබතුමාගේ සැලසුම කොහොමද? ඔබතුමා මේකට මුහුණ දෙන්නේ කොහොමද?
මම හිතනවා අපි බොහොම පැහැදිලිව මේ ණය පිළිබඳව අපි පහුගිය කාලෙත් ප්‍රශ්නේ අපිට ආවා 2005 දී. නමුත් අපි මුදල් නැහැ කියලා කිව්වා, ණය ගෙවන්න තියෙනවා කිව්වා. නමුත් අපි ණය ගෙවමින් ආර්ථිකය ගොඩ නැගුවා. ඉතින් අපිට මේ අවස්ථාවේදීත් අපි ණය පිළිබඳව සාකච්ඡා කළා ඒ රටවල් වල ඒක සුවදව මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට කල් අරගෙන අපිට පුළුවන්කම තියෙනවා මේ ණය බේර ගන්නත් ඒ වගේම සංවර්ධනය කටයුතු කරන්නත්.
Can we speak a little bit about your future now, if elected? What are your plans where development is concerned? What are your plans where FDIs are concerned? And what is going to be your foreign policy? Because in the previous government, there were allegations that you were more inclined towards China. So how are you going to move forward? What's going to be your foreign policy?
Do you want the answer on the geopolitical wise or my development plan?
No, first of all, your development plan. What's going to be your development plan? How are you going to attract FDIs? And what's going to be your
I have in
foreign
several
policy?
occasions I can come out with the detail, my thinking on how the economy should move forward and the development should move forward. In fact, what I said, the present century is known as the knowledge-based century. 21st century is known as the knowledge base. So this is an opportunity where we have youth, actually we have people that can be easily trained on technical fields. So that my economic plan especially is based on technical development on people on technical areas. This is very important because as we know, we have very less natural resources and we don't have a very well developed industrial base. But here is an opportunity where we can we have an opportunity to get into the present economic development. So now if you take the Asia today, the center of gravity of economic development is moving towards Asia. Especially if you take the Asian countries, they were developed based on technology. So this is the area that we want to move forward. That is why I have always spoken and I have said that we have to invest more on education, targeting on this economic development in short. And if you, your question on geopolitics, I think we have to be a neutral country, that we can't get in to the, the power struggles going in this region among various countries. So I know that we were a non-aligned country, but under the present status, we have to be very realistic. So what I propose is to be a neutral country.
දැන් පැහැදිලිවම යන තැන ඊයේ අන්තිමට මම සහභාගී වුණු ප්‍රවෘත්ති සාකච්ඡාවේ කිව්වා ඔයාට ඔය දඟලන දැඟලිල්ලෙන් අපෙන් ඇහුවට ගෝටගෙන් අහලා බලන්න ඔයාට සුදු වෑන් එකේ යන්න වෙනවා කියලා. මට දැන් මම පැහැදිලි කරන්නම් කියපු ටික. සුදු වෑන් එකේ යන්න වෙයි, අතපය නැති වෙයි, අතුරු දහන් වෙයි, මේ හිටිය මේ නැති වෙයි. මිලිටරි සංස්කෘතියෙන් ඔයා නැහැ කියලා කිව්වා.
ඔය කියන සංස්කෘතිය මම පටන් ගත්ත එකක් නෙවෙයි. මගේ කිසිම සුදු වෑන් එකක් තිබුණෙත් නැහැ. ඔය සංස්කෘතියක් පටන් ගත්තෙත් නැහැ. දැන් වැඩේ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ හුඟක් අයට අමතක වෙලානේ 89 කාලවල සුදු වෑන් නෙමෙයි සුදු ලොරි වලින්නේ උස්සන් ගිය මිනිස්සු නැතිමුනේ දරසෑවල් ටයර් සෑයවල් මේවා විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් තිබුණේ මොන යුගයවල වලද කියලා. එතකොට විවිධ වදකාගාර තිබුණු තැන් ඒවා දැන් ජනතාවට අමතක වෙලා මාධ්‍යවේදීන්ටත් අමතක වෙලා. මාධ්‍යවේදීන් හෙලිකොප්ටරෙන් ගිය කාලවලත් තිබුණානේ ගිහිල්ලා මූදේ වැටුණු කාලවල. දැන් ඒවා අමතක වෙලා. ඒවා කාගෙන්වත් ඒක ප්‍රශ්න කරන්නේ නැහනේ. ඒගොල්ලෝට ඒවා අමතක වෙලා. ඒවා අමතක කරන්නට මේවා බොරුවට අපේ පිටින් පටවලා ඒවා වහගන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඉතිහාසය වහගන්නවා. අනිත් එක ඔය අභූත චෝදනා නගන අය ඒවා කරපු අය ඉන්නේ දැන් මේ පැත්තේ.
ඕකට මේ සහතිකයක් දෙනවා. ඕකට සහතිකයක් දෙනවා අපිට බය වෙන්න එපා වුණ එකක් උඹලා අහපල්ලා. අපි එහෙමයි.
ඕකට සහතිකයක් දෙනකොට මම සහතික දෙකක් දෙන්නම්. මගේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති මාලා මම ගොඩක් අවස්ථාවන්හිදී ඉදිරියට දැක්වුවා. ඉතින් 10 දෙනෙක් විතර මේ විරුද්ධවාදීන් ගෙනල්ලා එක්කෙනෙක්ව තනි කරලා තියෙන තැනකට එහෙම ඇවිල්ලා අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නැහැ. මම ව්‍යාත්මක මේ සම්මන්ත්‍රණය හරහා ඒ වගේම විවිධ සම්මන්ත්‍රණ හරහා මම විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් සෑම ශේෂ්ත්‍රයකම වෘත්තිකයන් විවිධ අංශ මුණ ගැහිලා සාකච්ඡා කරා. ගොවි ජනතාව, දීවර ජනතාව අපි මේ හැම කෙනෙක්ම පසුගිය කාලය තුලම මුණ ගැහුණා. ඒ අයත් සමග මම සාකච්ඡා කළා, ඔවුන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳ දුන්නා. අපිට ඕන වාද විවාද කරගන්නට වඩා වැඩ කරන්නට මගේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය මම කියලා තියෙනවා. මම වැඩ කරලා ඔප්පු කරලා තියෙනවා. මං ඒ අනුව වැඩ කරනවා. වාද විවාද කරන එකෙන් මම නම් හිතන්නේ නැහැ ඇති තේරුමක් තියෙනවයි කියලා.